Okay, Christina here to listen to some music, and today's music selection is In My Darkest Hour by Megadeth. So this is the first Megadeth reaction on the channel. I do have a bit of a collection going of heavy metal reactions on the channel, like Metallica and Iron Maiden, things like that, and also some synth metal. So there's a good variety here, but I am happy to add this to that collection. I have heard of this band before. I had some friends back in high school who were big fans, but I kind of just stereotyped them into a category of music that I probably wouldn't be able to appreciate, and that's on me. So that is one of the reasons why we're here on this channel, is to sort of break some of those stereotypes that I have formed in my head and expand my appreciation of music in general. But we're also here because I am a professional, classically trained musician, instrumentalist, vocalist, composer, and professor. So we don't just learn to appreciate the music, we actually take a close look at it, how it's composed, the instrumentation, maybe some music theory or form and analysis, maybe some instrument demos too, you never know. And also, how do we connect with this music? Why do we like it, or why do we not like it? So maybe by the end of this, I'll see what some of my friends in high school loved so much about this group. I certainly saw lots of t-shirts of them walking around at school. So, no more delay. Let's listen. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Okay. Well, I think that stereotype is already kind of broken. This is not what I was expecting. This is actually kind of pretty. All right, so you can't blame me, right? Would you expect pretty music from a group called Megadeth? I mean, come on. But everyone deserves to have a softer side. And even on a heavy metal album, you would want a good mix. So yeah, I get it. Why I would think that a group like this would just not have anything emotional or deep, because I'm guessing that that's where this is going based on just the title and the sound here at the beginning. You know, it's not too much of a stretch to make some assumptions, but at the same time, I'm admitting I was definitely making some assumptions. Okay, so that was a pleasant surprise. It really was beautiful. Haven't heard any words yet. I'm very interested to find out what the story is here. So let's keep going. Here we go. It obviously changed moods here. So I'm hoping for the story to start soon, but yeah, great so far. Here we go. Okay, wow. All right. All right. All right. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of depth here. There's a lot of intention, both emotionally and musically. I'm kind of impressed. These guys are just laying it all out there. Okay, in my darkest hour. So I'm starting to see how all of the listeners to this song would be able to resonate with it. I was able to catch on to a lot of the words. A lot of you know that I'm music first and lyrics second because my ear just gets really caught up in how the instruments are speaking. And by the way, they're speaking very well. The music is put together in a really refined manner, as in it's coordinated. It's not messy at all. It's very well practiced, like they are well rehearsed musicians. So to me, it sort of gives me the feel of a classical music production, a performance that I would be a part of. And, you know, you want to make it good. So you're going to learn your part, make sure you can play it really well, and do your best to have a polished performance as best you can. And I just feel like this group might pay a lot of attention to that mastery in their playing. Not every group needs to do that. If this was a little bit messy, I would still sort of be thinking the same thing. It's just another layer here that I'm noticing. Does it add or take away from the depth of this song? No. It's just sort of an admiration that I'm able to notice. So it's very polished, and I appreciate that. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I also do know that the group started in 1983 and this song came out in 1988. So they had been together for a while. And then I also know that the main guy for this group, Dave Mustaine, right? He was originally with Metallica, and then he split off and started this group. And I don't know if there was animosity there though. I think there might have been, just based on some comments that I've heard about Dave with Metallica from Metallica fans. But is this like, Star Wars and Star Trek? I mean, can we be friends? Can you be both a Metallica fan and a Megadeth fan? Or are you like only with the Force and only a Trekkie? I don't know. Okay. I would think that you could do both. And if I remember correctly with my friends back in high school, they had shirts for both bands. So hopefully it's all right. Anyway, let's continue on with this storytelling. It's storytelling. Let's hear the story. And the polished musicianship.
I need love to everything. Stop thinking you're the only one that I'm thinking of. You'll never know how hard I tried. Fire space satisfy you too. Things will be better when I'm dead and gone. Don't try to understand, knowing you. I'm probably wrong, but oh
Okay, all right, we changed the mood again. Okay, all right, okay. I am continuing to be impressed with the instrumental work and the vocals. Okay. His voice, I don't know who, is that Dave singing? Does he sing? I'm not sure. Okay, I will get there. Let me know in the comments who does what, and I'll continue on with research and see the comments and learn more and more as we go. That's kind of how I do things here on the channel. But that vocalist is both polished and almost formal sounding. I hear the makings of some really lovely vibrato. It's a wider vibrato, but it's very intentional and artistic, used artistically to make musical gestures to reflect the meaning of the song. But then at the same time, the way he uses sort of a vocal fry, which is that, and almost like laughing, and some of the echoes that were happening with the vocals in the mix, in the recording, that effect. There's also like a familiarity to it. So it's sort of stepping in and out of a formality and a polished approach, and then informality, a more personal approach. And that reminds me of what happens in opera. So you have these amazingly well-trained singers up on stage, but they will step out of that sometimes in certain moments in the opera to tell the story, where they don't use their ranges and the projection and the vibrato because they're laughing or because they're showing an emotion, lots of reasons why. But do you see how you can sort of do both? You step out of the formal training to give a more personal effect. It is effective. Okay, the guitar work. Hello. I heard that guitar work. Excellent. There was a really cool line before that was da 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 da. I'm also going to relate this to the classical world. It sounds Baroque. That's an era of classical music like Bach and Vivaldi. Some of the call and answer between the lead vocals and that guitar work were very similar to some Baroque music. And then some of the ornamentations in the lines that could be straight out of the Four Seasons. And then the da 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 da. It's very reminiscent of the perpetual motion in fugues, for instance, like by Bach, like the Prelude and Fugue. It's very similar. My ear really perked up to that. There was also a really cool chromatic line thing that I think was in the first section. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, so everything got bumped up. Another step here. What's to come? Let's keep going. I am catching again a lot of the words. Loneliness, things were cold. Yeah. But I will check the lyrics in a little bit just to make sure I'm not missing anything else. Here we go.
But I gotta die first. Please, God, send me on my way. Time has a way of taking time. Loneliness and night only fill my bones. When I call Louise, babe, yearning to be held by you alone. So long I must consume my
I gotta say, I think we got through at least most of the solos there. I was hearing that repetitive, yeah, da, 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 da. Okay, so, okay, I had to stop because I had to comment on the wailing, the crying. Oh my goodness. And then they started adding more effects, like with the echo in the vocals, and then the guitars. That guitar was just outright crying. I can just imagine fans of this group, like if they're in the middle of a really hard time in life, just using this to sort of deal with some of that, get it out a little bit, maybe begin to heal. So at first I thought it was angry in this section, but I think there is anger there, but I also think it's just kind of a good cry. Just get it out. I'm a composer, and I really enjoy interpreting or transcribing emotion into music. This is not how I would have portrayed having a good cry. But it's really good. This is a good, this is a good transcription of that. It is very appreciated from my composer brain. All right, so hopefully I didn't stop it here in the middle of a super important solo moment, but I had to comment on that part of it, the emotional aspect of it here. So now let's finish it out. Okay, here we go. All right. That was intense. I think we got the good cry out, and then we stopped to take a breath. Had to grab a Kleenex and just kind of wipe our face off a little bit from all the tears and, and just, right? We got that out. Wow. Okay. I enjoy a good ending. So we had a recap from the beginning. I love a good bookend in a song, and especially because it was so worked up to that point. I really loved hearing that opening stuff. I was hoping we would hear that again because it really was pretty. It was beautiful. I did not think I'd be saying that about Megadeth, but here we are. So, okay. So with the recap from the beginning, and then it slowed down even more. And before that, it seemed like it was speeding up. We hit the brakes, right? Okay. Took that breath, freshened up our faces, and then we kind of gently placed ourselves back into reality. So it really slowed down, but didn't fade away. There was a stinger on the end. Interesting. A little bittersweet. Like you sit down, you have the good cry, you take your breath, and then you hop up and you stand up and you move on. Move on with your day. Keep going. Love that transcription. So one thing that stands out to me is the use of chromaticism. So that can be applied to key changes, chord usage, or just individual lines that are chromatic. And what that means is it just gets all of the little notes in between. So let me demonstrate on the keyboard. Let me turn it on. Okay, so it's all of the notes, white and black. So that is a chromatic scale. A normal scale is just, but with chromaticism, we get all of the notes in between. So I really heard that being utilized quite a lot through this piece. And what can that represent? The turmoil of things. Mood swings. Like if you're dealing with something, sometimes you go about your day and you forget about it and then you remember it and it all comes rushing back in. That's just how we are. That's what our human brains do. So the ebb and flow of our experiences. I don't think there were actually that many modulations. So we're not getting into like prog rock, progressive rock stuff. I know this is heavy metal. It's going to be a little bit different, but I still enjoyed those intentional decisions and how they stayed committed to those decisions throughout the song. So the bookends part, the opening and the ending, it was a slower 3 feel. 1, da, da, da. At least I think so. I might not be right about that. Let's go back to the beginning and double check. No. So that's not in 3. But as soon as it revved up, that's when it was almost like a sea shanty. Kind of reminded me a little bit of some Iron Maiden. I've done Rime of the Ancient Mariner, for instance, and it was kind of like that. And I think that plays well into the idea of, the emotional ride that would happen in someone's darkest hour, being on rough seas. So that all of it just really makes sense. And so much so that the opening, even though it wasn't in 3, I was remembering it almost that way because it was so smooth and beautiful. And the 2 sections, it was an abrupt change, but they were still fitting together well. So it made sense. It was comfortable enough to the point where I was remembering it still in 3. But there was a definite 3 feel. Let's go up to that point where it changes. Dum, ba, bum, ba, ba, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's probably like maybe in 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so even though there are 6 beats there, they go by so quickly that you can feel it in 2 bigger beats. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And I love how it just kind of revs up from there. Okay, we need to check the lyrics. I don't want to go any further without hearing that because I'm getting the emotional output of this, but was there more of a story that I missed? Okay. In my hour of need, hey, no, you're not there. And though I reached out for you, wouldn't lend a hand through the darkest hour, your grace did not shine on me. Feels so cold, very cold. No one cares for me. I heard the cold. I also heard later on there was loneliness. Yeah, did you ever think I'd get lonely? Did you ever think that I needed love? Big questions here. Heavy questions. Did you ever think to stop thinking? You're the only one that I'm thinking of. You'll never know how hard I tried to find my space and satisfy you too. So this relationship has gone awry. This person is obviously feeling left out, left behind, rejected, misunderstood. Things will be better when I'm dead and gone. Ooh, don't try to understand. Knowing you, I'm probably wrong. But oh, how I lived my life for you. Still you'd turn away. Now as I die for you, my flesh still crawls as I breathe your name. All these years I thought I was wrong. Now I know it was you. Raise your head, raise your face, your eyes. Tell me who you think you are. Okay. So this person is really attached to the other person he's in this relationship with, enough that he was thinking that he just couldn't go on very well without them. But at the end of that verse, it seems like maybe they're actually questioning the integrity of the other person, which means then maybe he's having more confidence in himself. Okay. So, I walk alone into the promised land. There's a better place for me, but it's far, far away. Everlasting life for me in a perfect world, but I gotta die first. Oh, please, God, send me on my way. Okay, I still think that this is about moving on and starting over. It's not about giving up. It's about healing, but how do you find that place of healing? That's a hard path sometimes. Time has a way of taking time. Loneliness is not only felt by fools. Well, that's true. Anybody can feel lonely. Alone, I call to ease the pain. Yearning to be held by you alone. So alone I'm lost. Consumed by the pain. The pain, the pain, the pain. That's some of the echo effect, right? And maybe the guitar was wailing in there also. Heavy stuff. Won't you hold me again? You just laughed. Yeah, he's getting a little bitter, a little bit of resentment there. But maybe that's a good thing. That's what can sort of catapult him into moving on. Maybe that relationship was not as good as he thought. My whole life is work built on the past. Yeah? Maybe idolizing the past a little bit. Maybe it wasn't always as good as you thought. But the time has come when all things shall pass. This good thing passed away. Yeah, I think this is like putting the past to rest so that you can move forward and find happiness. Whatever that is. Okay. I am really connecting with this on an emotional level. Not for any particular one experience necessarily, but just the connection of the human experience, and that things happen and you got to heal from it sometimes, and nobody's a fool for experiencing that. Okay, so I picked up on sort of a storytelling aspect from the voice. I think it was that informality aspect to it. And there wasn't too much detail put in there. It was all just part of the emotional ride. But still, those emotions were depicted very clearly, at least to me, both musically and lyrically. So let's talk about how that was portrayed. Like, for instance, the chromatic lines. So let's find one of those spots. Yep. So is that laughing? Is that crying? Is it falling into sadness? It's whatever it needs to be for the listener there. I would be interested in finding out why this was written. Definitely. It's also the beginning of the guitar work. Wow. Some of the guitar solos later on were really impressive, and that also plays into what I was saying about the polished aspect musically of this group. Okay, I want to move ahead because I want to hear one of these cool guitar lines. Let's see, I think it was about here. Yeah. Okay, so da 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 da. That moving guitar line, that was one of the perpetual motion spots that I was talking about. That's reminiscent of lines that you would find in Baroque music, like some Bach keyboard works, for instance. And again, a precursor to what is coming up for what the guitar is going to be doing. Are there two guitarists? I felt like maybe there were two different ones in the solo section, but I'm not sure. And so is that Dave? Because I believe he's guitar? Or was he bass? Or is he singing? Okay, we'll get there. I'm sorry. Let me know. Okay, and then how about some of the effects? There was one that happened around here that was really effective. Okay, wait, okay, whoa. I'm going to back that up because that's right in the middle of the guitar work. Wow. Okay, let's just take a moment for this guitar work here. Let's see, I backed up a little bit. Hopefully it's far enough.
In a perfect world, but I gotta die first.
More chromaticism.
God send me on my way.
See that solo.
Time has a way of taking
Nice vibrato. Yeah.
loneliness and not only
Okay. That effect right there, that weird echo thing.
to be held by you alone. So long as lies consumed by the pain.
The pain.
Won't you hold me again? You just laughed.
And the laughing, right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so much going on. All right, you hear the guitar playing the characters in the background, the laughing. There was a little bit in there. It was hard to hear with the pain stuff, like the guitar was trying to wail a little bit in the background. But that echoing pain, that is so effective. I love that. And then like the reverse suspended cymbal sound, really cool. Okay, that's solo, y'all. Totally notey, but so confident and polished. I'm going to stand by that. It does remind me of some guitar work, and I just know this because, again, I'm an 80s kid, and so this is from a soundtrack, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I loved that movie when I was a kid, and I got the soundtrack for it. I had the cassette tape for it, and so I listened to that some, and there are a couple of good songs on there, by the way, I have to admit. But I think, this band actually got really popular after that. And it took me a long time to even put it together that this was them. Because they did some slower songs that were really popular in the early 90s. They did More Than Words. Extreme. Okay, they have some excellent guitarists in their group. And so I just know it from this geeky little soundtrack that I had for that awesome 80s comedy movie. Love Bill and Ted. And so they, what was the song? Play With Me. That's the song. There's guitar work in there that sounds like that. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, I was sort of taken back to that movie. Kind of funny how music can do that. It's sort of a bit of a time machine sometimes. Anyway, I appreciate that kind of playing because I know what it takes to be able to do it. When we play that kind of music on string instruments, every single note is written out on the page. So yeah, that can take a level of expertise as well. But he's just composing it as he goes. That's impressive as well. Okay, great solos, great musicianship, great message. I think I kind of love this. Okay, that was In My Darkest Hour by Megadeth. And like I said, I kind of love it. I really do. It might not be like my favorite song of all time or anything, but I just was able to really connect with it on a musical and an emotional level. It was performed well, and it wasn't too scary. because that's just what my stereotype in my head was of these guys, is that they must be terrifying. Maybe they are in a few other songs, I don't know, but in this one, it was just very human and relatable, and so I like it. Will it go on my playlist? Yeah. Yeah. Megadeth is going on my playlist. And that is thanks to all of you, especially those who make direct requests. This one was a direct request. But for now, be sure to like and subscribe. And also you can find me on Patreon or become a channel member. You can support the channel through Ko-fi. You can vote in the polls to decide what I react to on the channel. There's just kind of a great community. We talk a lot about music, and it's a lot of fun. So hope to see you all around. And as always, just remember that you don't have to be perfect. Just go with the human experience here and be okay. And keep listening.